You're listening to SM Media, the home of exclusive West of Scotland Football League content. Hi folks, and welcome to the latest episode of the SM Media West of Scotland Football Show. I'm Scott Pike. It's an absolute pleasure to be your host as always, and I'm delighted to welcome this week's special guest. It's a pleasure to welcome the manager of Finnart, Brian Blair. Brian, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Well, it's a pleasure to get involved and watch you and listen to you quite a lot, so it's a pleasure to get involved and promote Finnart, obviously.
Brilliant, absolutely. So I appreciate the kind words. Obviously, with the West of Scotland, obviously this is your second season in. Last season promotion was a really welcome bonus. I don't think many people thought that promotion would be happening that season, but what was the kind of step to joining the West of Scotland? Like, what was obviously a community club. We were talking off air about your family roots in the club. Like, what was it like to make that step into joining the West of Scotland?
Well, basically, all came round about when out of the blue I seen Drum Chapel and St Cadox had joined just before COVID had hit.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happened, I kind of phoned John Black and Adam, who I know well, just to find out how they got in and how it came about. And I got information for them that there's a chance they're going to start opening it up like going forward for the next few years. So during that, that's when I contacted the league, and they got back to me regarding what to do and what they're looking for. And I had 3 or 4 meetings with them, and that's where it kicked off. And we just had committee meetings with us and going forward regarding, because we've got a setup with 500 registered kids with us, from mini kickers all the way through. So it's basically for the pathway for the kids now. And that was the main goal, to try and get into a pathway for the future for around about the East End to get them in. So then we worked it and did well in our first year, so it was great.
Absolutely. As you say, last season obviously did really well, won the league. Was promotion always like the plan with that, like to get up the first season? I know it wasn't decided until late on, but was it always the kind of expectation that you were going to be challenging last season?
Oh, definitely. I set out a goal to get promoted. I knew a couple of teams that were coming in. But it was new to us, the setup, but I set a challenge to the boys and they were brilliant. I think even the start, it was a wee buzz for them. So, and we just carried on, had a good start and carried on from there.
Yeah.
Something to fight for when you're sitting at the top of the league early on and just build on that, and it got promotion.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting into the third division as well, obviously this season, we speak about it a lot as a very competitive league. You see, obviously, you're sitting in ninth, but again, with games to play in the kind of top of the table, so there is a chance you could still be up there come the end of the season. But were you surprised with how competitive that league could be?
Yes, definitely. I was a bit taken back regarding it's just the way teams play. Our teams try and play football, but in this level, we don't sometimes. It's no pretty, to be honest. I can say that, and I found it difficult in a lot of games. Regarding some games, we'll keep the ball and look good, but without doing anything with it, that makes sense. And then we're conceding cheap goals, especially midway through the season, and a wee blip regarding some defeats. It was tough for the boys, some of them, but it was a learning curve. It's a learning curve for me too this year. I'm learning each week. I'm learning, and so the boys. So we'll just keep building, and it's a hard. Real goal at the start of this season was trying to get promoted. To be honest, there's no doubts about that. But I think we're a wee bit missing for that. I think there's between 5 and 6, probably top 5 and 6 teams. I think it'll be between the 3 go up.
Yeah, we'll obviously touch on the kind of the win on Saturday later on, and obviously the kind of season as a whole. Maybe later on in the show we'll talk about the third division, but we'll run through the action over the weekend. It was a busy weekend. There's been 4 West of Scotland sides obviously booked their place in the quarter final of the South Challenge Cup. Auchinleck beating East Kilbride, Drum Chapel winning at home to Vale of Clyde, Gartcairn with a win over Trinent Juniors, the Buttico winning at Mary Hill away. 4 teams obviously doing well. I think the result that stands out is probably Gartcairn beating Trinent. Trinent obviously going for promotion into the SPFL, and Gartcairn beating them at home. Some achievement.
That's a great achievement for Gartcairn. I know the chairman and stuff at Gartcairn, and I keep in contact with him regarding what we're trying to do down at Finnart. So obviously when they've come into it, it's good to see what they're doing behind the scenes. So I'm in good contact with them regarding going forward ourselves and to let them help out. So any team in the West that do well in the South, it's great. And they can prove how strong the West is with Gartcairn, Auchinleck, Coinning. So teams are flying, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. The quarter-final draw was made on Monday. Caledonian Braves play Auchinleck Talbot. All West tie between Coinning Rangers and Gartcairn. Sockett played Drumchapel. Spartans and Stirling University is the other tie. Obviously an All-Lowland League tie. Auchinleck as well. I mean, obviously they're defending the crown. They won it last season, beating Bonnyrigg. But East Kilbride, a lot of people were looking at that game as a potential kind of the game of the round. Really tight affair. Auchinleck won at 1-0. A goal from Brian Boylan. Auchinleck just have some record in cups.
Unbelievable. I think I played when I played with Glenafton years ago. Auchinleck were a team coming through. Even I think they won the league in the Scottish that year, but I think we beat them twice or 3 times that year. But just in the cups, they just seem to do it. It's unbelievable.
Disappointing results for Clydebank, obviously losing to Stirling Uni. I don't think there's any shame in that because Stirling Uni are absolutely flying in the Lowland League. Cumnock will be disappointed. They were 2-0 up at home to Sauchie Juniors and lost the game 3-2 in extra time. That'll be a sore one.
Yeah, it's a hard one to take your 2-0 up. But I watched a good highlights of the Stirling Uni and Clydebank game. Watched them yesterday, I think it was. And Clydebank had good chances.
Yeah.
The game could have went either way. I thought the highlights, I thought Clydebank had a better chances, to be honest. But Stirling Uni are flying. Could they have got a chance of getting promoted for that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be some achievement for them as well. But again, it just shows you the West are more than capable of competing at the highest level in these divisions. Premier Division, though, we did have some games. We'll start with Glenafton, actually, New Cumnock. 2-1 Bees away from home to Glenafton. Bees will be... Glenafton is never an easy place to go, as you'll know that probably better than most. But Bees going there, that Daniel O'Neill scoring, Josh Fowler, they were under the cost. Glenafton played some good stuff. But that is a massive win. And again, it just keeps this title race going. And then Wednesday night, we could have a massive game in this title race when Bees go to Auchinleck.
That's some game. That's a great game. I wish I wasn't working. I would probably get my...
So da.
If that was my night shift, I think that was one of the games I'd definitely go to. Beef are flying at the moment. You've seen that beating Darvo too, and they've played games ahead of people, but they've got the points on board. Yeah. And that league's because obviously Auchinleck's got, is it 4 games in hand or something?
Yeah, Auchinleck. Well, the way the kind of league, Auchinleck are sitting in 5th now, which they're in 30 points with 14 games. Bees are in 48 points with 21 games. So Auchinleck have 7 points to make up. A lot of people are saying it's between Bees and Auchinleck. I wouldn't rule out Darvel.
No,
I know. Where you go?
No, I was going to say I know Mick well, and I'm good pals. We've played together for years, me and Michael. So, but I wouldn't rule Darvel out. You seen that last year when people were rolling them out on a 17, 18 game run in a few weeks.
They had a game every day, didn't they?
And that's some achievement that they've done. And obviously, they've had that wee run the Scottish, which is great. And it's great for the West what they've done. It's put the West on the map.
Yeah, definitely.
And even teams like ourselves, who are coming through the pyramid system, even when you speak to your young boys, they're all looking at Darvel results saying that could be us one day. So it helps right through the full pyramid system. It's been great what the West teams are doing, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I think that's a bigger result for Bees because going to a place like Glenafton, these are the games you look back if they do go on to win the league, which I think is more than possible now. You'll look back at games like Glenafton where you maybe haven't played brilliant, but your defence, Daniel O'Neill's been so good for Bees as well. Josh Fowler, I would say they're probably 2 of the players of the season so far for Bees. But again, these are the games that they'll look back and go, they're the games that maybe won us the title if they go on to win it. But again, it's Wednesday's a massive game. We'll touch on that later on. But Darvel had to come from behind at half time. They were 1-0 down at home to Cambuslang. And Craig Moore with a hat-trick to score 3 for Darvel as they won 3-1 at home. And again, for Darvel, they've got players like Craig Moore who can do that, score goals. Maybe, again, a lot of people say Craig Moore, he's maybe not been the fittest, but when he's there and fit, he can score, he can get Darvel flying up that table. And Darvel, as we said about Mick earlier on, I wouldn't rule Darvel out at all because their squad depth is unbelievable. When you can let players like David Simon, Lewis Morrison get going, do you know what I mean? That's what you're doing with me.
That's unbelievable. That's players I would dream to get into us, and they're sending them out on loan. So it just proves how strong they're, because they just signed a couple of players there. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, signed Robin McNabb for Celtic.
Aye.
He's a good player, actually. I've
not actually seen him, to be honest. But the players have got the squad, they've got some unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's a good league. Anybody can beat anybody. Aye, anybody can beat anybody.
Absolutely. Let's move on to Pollock, actually. Obviously, Rob Roy, it was a clash. Stuart Maxwell was obviously playing against his former side. It was a comfortable 6-2 victory for Pollock. Doubles for Stuart McCann and Christoph, Darren Christie and Kenny Barr with the goals for Pollock. And again with Pollock, but we're speaking about Darvel, Beath, Auchinleck. Pollock are flying under the radar. They've been, again, just winning, scoring 6 goals as well. They've got players like Stuart McCann and Darren Christie who are really on it. They're winning well.
Aye, definitely. Well, I always, even see teams that win leagues, see if they go around about March, see now. Yeah. They're going around now. Especially now, there's not as many games as what they had last year.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the amount of teams that win the league. But these teams, if they go on a run of 7-8 games, there's a good chance, especially Beef Football. They're going to run now for 7 and 8 games in a row. It's going to be hard to beat.
Definitely.
Any team's the same regarding Paul. Auchinleck's got a lot of games to catch up. That might be their problem, to be honest.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see that, obviously, because they've got 15 games to play from now until I think it's the end of May. It's going to be interesting to see how many of them they actually win, and they're probably going to be playing Wednesday, Saturday for now until then. We'll move into Irvine Meadow. Probably surprising result of the weekend, actually. Irvine Meadow, they moved into 4th at the weekend, midweek, obviously beating Glenafton at home, but they lost at home to Peters Hill, who now move into 13th. Peters Hill, again, they've been getting results. They've been getting results for somewhere 3 out of the last, they've won 3 out of the last 6 games. Lennon Houston with a goal. Going to Irvine Meadow and winning, that's some achievement for them, and it takes them out the relegation zone for the time being.
It's some result. That's the thing with Peters Hill. They've kicked up. Obviously, the management team that's changed, and they've had some right good results in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I know we McNeil over there, the goalkeeper. I know McNeil too. So, all the best. If teams like that started off pretty bad, and you even noticed the amount of games they've played. They had to start picking up somewhere.
Yeah.
And they've done that.
Yeah,
they're giving themselves that opportunity to stay up now.
Yeah, absolutely. Go to a place like Irvine Meadow as well, getting a away victory, it can kick you on. And again, Peters Hill, if they can get 2 or 3 wins in a row, they can be in a really good place.
Definitely.
Atherley 1, Largs 2. Largs, obviously, a big result. They came from behind. I think the story is obviously Atherley looking for a new manager again. Johnny Miller 1 game and he's moved on. Again, we don't know the details of what's happened there. I don't really want to go into too much detail, but again, Atherley, they'll be just wanting a bit of balance in the side, because it will not be good for the players or this going on off the park.
No, definitely, especially when it came through last year. It was a great season they had last year. So to have that, then what's happening now, it's a bit of a shame, but hopefully they can, because a massive club, Atherley, massive. So someone will go in there and maybe turn that around pretty sharp, hopefully, before the end of the season.
I think they will. I think somebody will get it Atherley. I think they just need a bit of balance and consistency, and I think they'll be fine. Big win for Largs, obviously influenced by the return of Will Sewell, who obviously came back from Stenhousemuir. He scored, and Davidson scored the other goal as well. Big result for Largs, and again, Largs are a team that I've maybe undermined more than anybody, because I didn't think they were going to be as high up as they were at this point. They're sitting in 7th place. When Will left in the summer, I really worried where the goals were coming from, but now, when they got Will back, I think they'll be more than all right.
Aye, I remember seeing Will a few years ago against Finnart's under 21s.
Yeah.
Him and his bra, and you could tell they had something about them.
Mm-hmm.
It was they were good players. Then last year, he was flying, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was top goal scorer last season.
Aye, it was flying last year. So,
and I don't necessarily think he did that bad when he was at Stenhousemuir. I don't know if it's maybe been a change of plan. I know the manager that brought him in to Stenhousemuir's obviously left, but I was quite surprised when I saw that he was going back to Lars, because I thought he was doing fine at Stenhousemuir, but it'll be interesting. I think he'll be more than capable of driving Lars up the table again. Final result, Troon are now in 3 wins in a row. They won 3-1 at home to Hurlford. Hurlford were 1-0 up, actually. Double from Kyle Gilroy and a goal from Ben Black. And Troon, all of a sudden as well, they're climbing up the table again. They were in a wee sticky patch, but now 3 wins in a row, and they're now up to 9th.
Oh, that's a great result. That is a great result. Hurlford have been doing well in the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just opening this door. My dog's scratching at door again. Because Hurlford's had a few good results the last few weeks, so it's a great result. And I think any result in that league's a good result, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's that thing. It's that
if
thing.
you get
Anybody
3
can beat
points,
anybody. Aye. Anybody can
Yeah.
beat anybody. And you see that perfect example, Troon and Hurlford. You would probably say that's maybe a game that's a draw written all over it. But
Aye.
especially when Hurlford are 1-0 up, you don't see Troon winning at 3-1, and it just shows you this league is so unpredictable. And
It's so strong.
So strong. A lot of good teams in it as well, and I think it's going to be a really interesting end to the season. First division, let's carry on the competitive league talk, because I think this league is the most competitive in the world at the moment. Kilbirnie are still top. They were held to a point. Jamie Nisbet and Chris Dolan's first game at Cumbernauld, and they held the league leaders to a 1-1 draw. Really entertaining game by all reports. Both sides were end to end. And St Cadoc's a late 1-0 win from Grant Anderson secured a huge 1-0 win over Neilston, and St Cadoc's are now only a point behind at Kilbirnie.
That's some league, but you could tell at the start of the season, if you picked any league right across, you would have said that was going to be a strong league.
Yeah.
And hard. So any team that gets promoted out of that is done unbelievable.
Yeah.
We finished champions even better, but that is a so strong league.
Mm.
It's unbelievable, to be honest. And that's another league. See if you get a 4 or 5 winning streak, you've got a right good chance of getting promoted, especially now, starting from March.
Yeah. Probably the form team in the league at the moment is probably Benburb, and they had to work hard as well. They came from behind to beat Johnson Borough 2-1 away from home. An own goal in Lewis Lovering. Benburb were a team, they had a really poor start to the season. I seem to remember looking at the table in this show and they were sitting 14th at one point. They're now sitting 3rd. And they've got a game in hand in Kilbirnie, and it could get to the stage where we're probably looking for a wee while. It was going to be Kilbirnie, St Cadoc's, Drumchapel and Gartcairn. But Benburb have put themselves in the mix there.
Definitely. Could have got a good result. Was it last week? Was it during the week or something? Was it a 6-2 or something? Was it?
Who did they beat last week?
Was it Kilbirnie?
Yeah, they beat Kilbirnie 6-3. Yep.
That's right, 6-3. Yep. That's a great result.
I know. Some result.
So they're flying at the moment too. So I say they could be the team that could go on that wee run that we talk about.
Yeah, I think they could be. And again, on the form team, they've won the last 3 games. Let's move into Shotts 2, St Roch's 3. A real entertaining game as well. Big win for St Roch's. They were obviously in the middle of a really poor losing run. To get that victory as well, that'll be a huge result for them, especially away from home.
They needed to get a result. They needed it. Didn't matter how the game went, if it was a horrible game or a great game, doesn't matter. They just needed 3 points. And it's a great 3 points away to Shotts.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody knows how hard it is to play in Shotts Park. It's the biggest park ever. And that's a great 3 points for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we need to give a special mention as well to Rossvale, a 3-1 away win over Blantyre. Connor Hamilton with a hat-trick. Again, Rossvale, 2 wins in a row. They've had their struggles as well this season. What a huge result that is to go to Blantyre and win.
Aye, and seeing any of these leagues, see you win away from home. It's a great result.
Yeah.
Honestly, especially Rossvale, obviously, they're playing Astros all the time too. So they go away to grass parks, and we know Blantyre at the moment. I don't know how good it is at the moment, but over the time, it's not been the best. It's a great 3 points, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. My result of the weekend in this league has to be Rutherglen 1, Bonnet 3. Dylan Henry with a double, Taylor Allen with a goal as well. Bonnet sitting 8th. I speak about Ross Wilson a lot in this show. I know he's obviously Dylan Henry's a really good player for them, but he's obviously got some players in. I gave Bonnet no chance at the start of the season of staying up. They're now in a brilliant position, and it's all down to the manager and the pplayers.
Well, actually, we had a wee look at that league of their own, and just because I've played more games, but they had to win. They had to start winning because they've played more games than anyone else, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Yeah, they have.
I think they've only got don't know, is it 6 games or something left?
6 games, yeah. 6 games away from the end of the season.
So they have to start picking up points, because I know they're in, it looks like middle of the table, but they've played
in 8th, yeah.
5. So that's a great 3 points. Press it rather than Lorgan, a decent side by the way. They were on a
really
run.
Good side, yeah.
We played against them early on this season too, and they've changed the way they used to play. I think they're getting the ball down a wee bit now. They're a good side, some good players there.
Yeah, they won the last 3. They won 3 in a row a wee while ago. They've now lost 3 in a row. But again, they'll just be looking to get a win on the board again, because I think they've got likes of Jack McElveen, the boy McManus. They're more than capable of being all right in this league. But again, you still couldn't call it. Final game, Whitlet's 2, Thornleywood 1. Thornleywood were 1-0 up. A late double from Jamie Henderson. And Whitlet's again, they're getting wins. They've won 3 out of the last 4. And they're still bottom of the table. But they've got 4 games in hand, in the likes of WOSFL and Cumbernauld. They'll be. I think they'll do actually okay. See, once they get a run.
I think they'll be fine. I think they've had so many games, haven't they, to catch up. Because I seen them. Obviously, they got to that final, and Brentford. Aye. So I think after that, you could see them picking up a wee bit just before that final. It's just a pity they've not had that many games, because it's no good obviously being down there. But I think they'll do well. I do think they'll pick up.
Yeah, I think they'll pick up as well. I think that's going to be the hardest league in the world. See, I don't think you could pick. I don't think you could. If somebody told me name 1 to 16 now, I don't think I could name it. I don't think I would get any right. It's so unpredictable. The second division, on the other hand, I think we saw a league-winning performance, and that might be big, strong words, but Renfrew against Glasgow United, 1st versus 16th. I think a lot of people would have had that as a comfortable home victory. Renfrew had to dig really, really deep. They won the match 4-3. Glasgow United have picked up actually in the past couple of games. They're now
they have.
They've been in a bit. They were in a bit of a poor run apart from the last couple of weeks. But to hold the league leaders to a 4th, make it tough for them. Eventually, Renfrew won 4-3, but that could be massive come the end of the season, because Renfrew will be delighted to get out there with a victory, because I don't think Glasgow United made it easy.
No, I can see Glasgow United making it hard for a lot of teams. A lot of people are looking at them to say sitting bottom in the league, but I think they'll do better. Obviously, it's a lot of points they have to chase up to make sure they don't get relegated. Obviously, I've got the connection with Glasgow United, so hopefully they don't get relegated. But it's a hard shift to where they're sitting at the moment. But I think it's a wee bit unlucky. I think they've been doing it to 10 men, I think, Saturday again.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
So
massive performance.
Yeah, definitely. 10 men against Renfrew, and who are flying.
Yeah.
And they'll have confidence. Obviously, they'll have games. I think I seen the ties coming out regarding the freeway playoff.
Yes, we were actually going to go into that. They will play Abbey Vale and Luncarty. I think it's between the end of March and the end of middle of April. Whoever wins that gets into the Scottish Cup. And again, you would probably fancy Renfrew out of the 3.
Nah, you would. I think you would. I don't know much about Abbey Vale. I know they're in the south, isn't they?
South. And Luncarty obviously in the east.
And Luncarty in the east. So I hope Renfrew do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be some achievement for Renfrew to get into the Scottish Cup. Glasgow Perthshire went to Wishaw and won 3-1, goals from Monroe, Musa and Daly. And Glasgow Perthshire, again, we talk about them every week. They're sitting in second place. What an unbelievable season they're having.
A great season. I was surprised with the result last week. Was it Yoka?
Yoka beat them 6-1. To bounce back for that is pretty good. Wishaw have been actually pretty good lately.
It's just Perthshire's one of the ones. If you're a betting man, you wouldn't bet for them. You wouldn't bet against them, I don't think.
No, you certainly wouldn't. No. It shows you the unpredictability of this league as well. But
they're doing really well. Really
absolutely.
well.
Yeah, definitely. Ashfield a 2-1 away win over Ardea. Next result, St Anthony's beat Yoker 2-0. Big results for the Ashfield and St Anthony's sit for 3rd and 4th. They're 2 good sides, and they're doing pretty well actually. Again, they've not Ashfield were in a two match without a win. St Anthony's have been kind of in and out, but they're 2 big victories for them.
Oh, definitely. I've seen the highlights of the Ashfield game. I think it was a young boy come through their development, scored the winner.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So I love seeing that. So obviously they're trying to come through the youth system too, and I like that, bringing boys a chance and obviously scoring the winner. So they'll be full of confidence getting a late winner. So and Sanfi's I've got a couple of boys that I used to coach. It was at Finnart, Gio and Big Jabs.
Yeah.
And obviously Danny played as an boy I've played with. Won a few medals with him, and I like seeing. Obviously, we speak every Saturday morning, me and Danny. Wish each other all the best, and they're flying at the moment.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
even it was a great season I had last year, but if they get promoted, I think that's a great achievement if they get there.
Absolutely. Maybole went to Greenock and won 3-2. I think this was a massive game. Greenock, I kind of think Greenock are in a bit of a false position because I think they've been very, very unlucky in some of their games. A lot of their games have been really tight losses, but I think that all they need is a couple of wins, and I think they'll be fine. Maybole, though, I wouldn't sleep in Maybole being in the promotion hunt. I think they're more than capable.
They're than our team. It's dead hard to even a bet for, even a bet against.
No.
1 week they're getting some great results and sweet draws and stuff like that. But it's so hard.
It's another league again. We can say the pyramid systems have worked so well because it's the conference system. That has been excellent because it's gave us so many competitive leagues. Glasgow Uni, they're in a wee bit of a good run as well. They've won the last three, a 3-1 home win over Muirkirk. Again, I think Muirkirk didn't make it. They didn't make it easy. It was a really competitive game. Big win for Glasgow Uni. Johnny Baxter with a double. They're another team that have been maybe punching above their weight this season.
Glasgow Uni, obviously, they were in the same league as us before the joint. That was another team that surprised me when the joint.
That's right, yeah.
Because uni teams are weird, to be honest. That's the best way to say it. Because one week, I've got all their team there and they look great. Then you'll see them a couple of weeks later and with different boys on holiday or they're away back home for the weekends and stuff like that. So if the uni teams can get a stable setup regarding the same amount of boys, they'll always do well. Yeah. They'll always do well, but it's dead hard to get their 16 boys, whatever, their best teams every week because of the holidays and stuff like that they have in uni. But they'll do well. They'll always stick mid-table, I think. I don't see them getting promoted now. But they'll be a mid-table team, Glasgow Uni.
Yeah, absolutely. Final result in the second division, Craigmark were held to a 2-2 draw away to Kilsyth Rangers. Craigmark's unbeaten run, something to talk about. I think they're 9 games unbeaten and they're sitting at 34 points for 18 games. They've got games to catch up as well, in the likes of Glasgow, Perthshire and Ashfield. Craigmark as well, they've got some good players in that team. And I thought at the start of the season, if you were to say to me who was going to be challenging, I would have said Renfrew, Craigmark and Maybole. And all three of them are up there in the top 6.
That's another. Have they got games in hand?
Yeah, Craigmark have played 18 games on. Glasgow Perthshire have played 30. Craigmark have played 18 games and they've got 34 points. Glasgow Perthshire have got 22 games, got 39 points in second. So it's not out of their reach.
No. I knew they had games and I wasn't too sure the point difference, but that's another one. If they go on a wee run, I think they'll get promoted, to be honest. I think they're one of the teams I thought they would get promoted.
I think they're a really good side, actually. And we'll move into the third division and let's start at Finnart, a 3-0 home win over Newmains United. Macaulay, Barnes and Smith with the goals. How was the result for you? What was your takeaways for the match?
First half was kind of... We had probably the better chances, but it wasn't a great first half for us, to be honest. We got a goal at a good time. I think it was at 35 minutes into the game. A good goal, to be honest. Good work there, goal. And for full back, got forward and finished it well. But the second half, I thought we controlled the game and dominated in large parts of the second half. And 3-0 was a fair result, to be honest. I can't even remember one chance Newmains had in the full game, except from maybe set pieces or that I can't. Fulton play, I don't even think they created a chance, to be honest. But it was a good. I like keeping clean sheets, to be honest. 3-0 victory with a clean sheet, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a big result as well. Obviously, it's sitting in 9th place. What's the kind of, we'll touch on later on, obviously, the kind of rest of the season, but when you look at that league and you said there about the wee dip you've had in kind of mid-season, what's the kind of target for now at the end of the season? Just finish as high as possible?
As high as possible. It would be a miracle if we win. I think it's 16 games we've got left. I think it's something like that.
Yes, I think that's right. Around about that,
16 games left. So if you're talking about if we want to get promoted to give us a chance, we'd have to win a 16 of them. So yeah, it's a hard, especially the amount of games we're going to have. So we've got 16 games to finish. I think it's for the 13th of May.
Yeah.
So you're talking about some of the weeks could be Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday,
Yeah.
Monday, Wednesday. So it'll take its toll on them. So I take one game at a time, and finish as high as possible. That's my. Then
Absolutely.
I'll start building for next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my goal, because it's a learning curve. I said at the start, it's a learning curve regarding the players and for myself.
Did you always think that was he maybe going to take last season just to get yourselves in the promotion place? Because a lot of people had just high up the promotion.
To be honest, I thought we would have been higher up myself. But the players we've got, they probably should be. But that's probably mine. I'll take a wee bit of that on my fault myself, because I'm setting out to play the same way every game, and it's not going to happen. But I'm learning that now, going through the season. So it's a learning curve for myself and learning curve for the boys regarding how to change things. But we'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move into the other games in that league. 7-1 wins for the top two. Lanark went to Port Glasgow and won 7-1, and Ardrossan won 7-1 away to Royal Albert. Ian Watt with a hat-trick for Lanark. Mark Carr and Aidan Ferris with doubles for Ardrossan. The top two, they're really, really good when you look at them. Especially, like, maybe the Lanark result's probably a bigger result than Ardrossan's. Obviously going to a place like Port Glasgow, who are never easy to win, and to beat them 7-1. But two very convincing results for the top two.
It's too great, especially Lanark. I thought it's a great result away to Port Glasgow. 7-1 away to them is a great result. And Lanark are flying at the moment. Don't know how many games they've won in a row. Is it about 7 or 8 games or something?
They'd lost a couple of weeks ago, but I think they were on a run. Like, I think they'd won 12 out of 13 or something.
Something like that. I think Lark Hall beat them, didn't they?
Yeah.
What about that one? And Ardrossan's, that was one of the lessons early on in the season. We played Ardrossan at home, and the way the press, they've got a big experience in there with wee Chrissy Craig and wee McGinto and that, who I know well, who I played with the two of them, so I know them well. But I set out my stall to try and play their way, and it was easy for them, to be honest, against us. So when we played them at their part, we actually, to be honest, probably should have got a result against them, but we got beat 1-0 with, I think they're only shot in the second half, but that's the nature of this league, to be honest. But we learned for the first game against them. So, but I think their trouble is experience. When we play against even Finnart have been about that. I think they're strong. They'll want to run again, and they've got a lot of good experience in their squad. And I think in this division, I think you need a bit of experience. And that's what I brought in the last few weeks with the boy Stephen Barnes.
Yeah.
So Barnes is a boy that I've had for years with amateur and stuff like that, and then they went to St Rocks and did well. Then I got him back down, so he's been a big help to me in the last few weeks, to be honest.
Brilliant.
That's what it needs.
Kello and Irvin Vick had 5-1 home victories. Kello beat Killuke 5-1 at home, and they need a hat-trick for them. Irvin Vick's won 5-1 at home to Saltcoats as well. Irvin Vick's are now up to third. Kello are sitting in seventh. Kello, you would probably say they would maybe be looking to maybe in a similar position to yourselves, maybe looking to win as many games as possible to win a promotion hunt. But Irvin Vick's, I mean, they're a really, really good side, and they're more than capable of being up there.
Oh, definitely. I think we beat them a few weeks ago, but it was, that was the first defeat in like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
But that was a good game. It was a good physical game. We probably had the better chance. I don't think they created much chances, but they're a good side. They play. So where they play, the big boy Adam, is it up front?
Yeah, Kevin Adam. He scored a double as well.
He's a handful. If they played up to him and play boys off, there's a handful. Plus, he's an 18-year-old goal scorer, and he's done it for many years. So they'll do well. They've got a chance to get promotion too. That's how it's hard. You've got Lanark, Ardrossan, Irvin, Clyde, Lark Hall. That's the teams that's going to be around about the promotion race, I think.
Yeah, Les Mahago obviously as well. They're up there. They won 3-2 away to Vela leaving. That's a big result as well, because they won a really good run. Had a tough result last week, and to them won 3-2 away from home at Vela leaving, which is never an easy place to go. Again, they'll be fancying their chances.
Aye, definitely. Les Mahago, we've played them earlier in the season, and actually, it's probably the best we've played this year. We absolutely battered them. They'll probably say the same. But then we played them after Christmas, and that's probably the poorest performance I've ever seen us play. And they won 2-0. But it was a comfortable 2-0 for them, because how bad we were that day, to be honest. But if they keep getting results, they keep getting results, and that's what they can do, and see how it finishes for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Big result for East Kilbride Thistle. They won 4-2 at home to Dalry. East Kilbride Thistle, I think, have probably been the team that have maybe surprised people, maybe not in a good way. They've been a lot of people fancying them at the start of the season. They've had a complete rebuild. Obviously, Aaron's took over. He scored as well. How many managers would have scored this weekend? No many. Big result for East Kilbride and one they badly needed.
I seen a wee highlight of the boy putting a free kick in.
Yeah, Adam Edgar.
Some goal, by the way.
Yeah.
Good finish. I think they bring a lot of their 20s up, to be honest.
I think there's been a lot going on there. I've heard a wee bit, but it's
Big Gary was there. Big Gary's my assistant now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So Big Gary's MME now. I've knew Gary for years.
Yeah.
As soon as all that happened, I had a wee speak to him and got him down, which is great for me. Obviously, it was their lows at the time, but Big Gary's been great to me since he's come in.
Yeah,
so, East Kilbride will do well. I think they'll be the same as us. I think they'll just try to finish as high as possible. But with a lot of young boys there, and I think the results had a good result. 4-2.
Absolutely.
That's a great result.
Yep, absolutely. Other results we'll get thoughts on. Girvan 2, Larkhall 2. Cammy Smith scored a double for Larkhall. Bellshill 0, Lugar Boswell Thistle 0. Any of the results a surprise?
I thought Larkhall. I seen online. I think they were missing a few players. Larkhall, to be honest. So it's probably the same at this level. You've not got a big enough squad to cover these injuries, suspensions, or whatever. Then you'll struggle. You will struggle because I think you need your best 14, 15 players to turn out every week. And that's what I looked at the Harms. I fancied Larkhall. I think they'll be up there too. I think they'll be up there with the promotion chasers.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I was a bit surprised at that. Bellshill Lugar. We played Lugar a couple of weeks ago and it was a 2-2. So Lugar, I think they're in a false place, to be honest. I think they're better.
I think that as well. I remember speaking to Johnny Bailey a couple of months ago when he was on, and I thought they were a bit a kind of sticky patch then, and they've just not their struggles been they've not had much consistency.
Aye, because if they get a result, then they'll draw, then they'll get beat, and you need a wee run, and hopefully that's what we are in the moment, and a wee run now. So long may that continue.
Yeah, absolutely. Fourth division. We'll get through some of the results. Friday night action. St Peter's 3, Easterhouse 1. St Peter's obviously now are sitting in the promotion places. And I think the story of the match was Easterhouse were more than capable of giving them a game. I think the St Peter's goalkeeper got a lot of plaudits. I think he made some really good saves. I think both sides will be quite happy with the performances. St Peter's, obviously, they are 3 games away. If they can win their next 3 games, I believe they gain promotion.
St Peter's, do they?
Yeah, I think so. They are 4 points clear of Threave, and I think they play Threave in that. If they beat Threave, I think they're up. I think so, yeah.
All right, I didn't know they played them. All right, so that just shows you that league, because I thought it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago. I thought the top 3 were kind of.
Yeah. I really like St Peter's, actually. I think they've been. I thought at the start of the season.
St Peter's, that is a good side. I like the way they knock the ball out well. All young boys too. I think they had a good 20s last year too.
Yeah.
They were in a league and they used quite a lot of 20s last year. So obviously they had that experience last year, and that would have helped them this year going forward.
Yeah.
So I thought they would do well.
Yeah, I think a team to take next season will be Thorn Athletic, because I think they're beginning to. They had a big 1-0 victory over Glenvale. Glenvale, another team I think could be big next season. A lot of talk about who they're bringing in, obviously from the amateurs. I think these are 2 sides to be really, really looking for next season, because I think once you get some players in, bit of improvement, I think they could be title challengers next season in this league.
Definitely. I know Form well too, obviously, with the amateur game. They were in my league. They've always been a good side. They've got the community backing now. They've got their own facility up and going. So they'll do well. They will do well. And I've seen some of the results. I've been unlucky.
They're the only side to take points off the league leaders, Kilsyth Athletic.
I've seen that.
Home and away, I think.
Aye. They drew twice, didn't they?
Yeah, drew twice, yeah. And you've been impressed with Kilsyth? Like, obviously, Kilsyth last season were kind of title challengers with you, and obviously you won the league. He's been surprised with how well they've done?
No, really. I knew they would do well. Honestly, they've got a lot of good players. The coach is he's doing brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
He's doing brilliant. He's a nice boy.
Yeah.
Had a few conversations last year, and he's great. I knew they would do well. I knew they'd be hard to beat the way they played. A lot of energy, knocked the ball about well, and they've proved it when they're playing against even. I think they beat Kilsyth too, and they've been at Bonneton. They beat Bonneton too.
Yeah, I think they definitely beat Kilsyth Rangers, and I think they might have beat Bonneton as well. I would need to look that back, but yeah,
Aye,
I mean
sure.
they've done themselves no harm in some of the games they've played.
No, definitely. I knew they would do well, and I know a lot about West Park too. They've got a lot of right good players now. Yeah. So it's going to be a close one to see who wins that actually. So if West Park win their games, then they win
West Park, I believe, play Kilsyth next Saturday. That could be a game. If you're a neutral, then I think that's a game to be attending this weekend.
That's where they should go into the Friday night, try and get a Friday night game. By the way.
Aye, that'd be brilliant as well. I'd love to see that. I think with this league, and I'm keen to get your thoughts on this. Like when at the start of the season, Kilsyth, I thought, yeah, they're a team building up. West Park brought in a lot of good players. Three were the unknown because obviously where they were coming from, but I thought they would be up there.
Okay.
St Peter's, I did not think would be where they are, and Thorn as well. I thought it would take Thorn and likes of Thorn and Easterhouse a couple of seasons to get in there. St Peter's have been, I mean, with John on a couple of weeks ago, John's a brilliant manager, and they're in such a good run, and you just wouldn't put it past them to be up there at the end of the season.
No, well, I didn't even know if they win the games that same promoted. So what an incentive that is for them. What an incentive for the boys.
Yeah.
If you know that, then because three of the teams, one week you see them beating somebody at 7 or 8, then you seen Easterhouse, was it 4-0 or something? They beat them a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that was exactly that. They beat St Carlos 3-1 in one Saturday, and then the week after Easterhouse beat them, and it just shows you that's the unpredictability of the West.
Nah, that's how it's great. That's how it's so good. That's how football's so good.
Absolutely. Other two results. Let's Rossvale Academy won 4-2 at home to Eglinton, and BSC Glasgow 1-2-1 away to Campbelltown. Probably BSC and Campbelltown, obviously teams just played last year. What was your kind of takeaways for them?
I thought Campbelltown might have done a wee bit better, to be honest, this year. But it's not worked out for them. Obviously, they've got good people behind the scenes regarding what run the club, and I had a few beers with them back then, as you say, with a night suit and then back to the pub. And I thought they would have done a wee bit better, but I think it's hard for them trying to get their players because obviously they're trying to compete with your West teams. You've got a lot of players to pick from, while they've not. So I think that's where they'll find it hard, unless they pay a lot of money to players. I don't know. I don't know how it'll work, but they'll have to do something if they want to start climbing. And it's trying to get the players to play with Campbelltown and travel up and down for wherever they want to get players for. It's a problem, but they're run with good people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Finnart, obviously, a few games to discuss later on in the weekend. We've got some midweek action as well. We will have, we'll be kind of covering them as well. We'll maybe do a roundup maybe on Friday in the website, so keep an eye on that. Finnart, an interesting few games. Go to Royal Albert on this Saturday. Home game against Lanark, which I imagine will be a big game for the club. There's some huge games in there. You host Vale of Clyde, Dalry, East Kilbride, Thistle. There's some huge games in that. Win all them, you could be in a good position.
Well, that's what I said. I think we have to win the 16 games to a good position. That's how I say. I'll just take one game at a time. It's when the midweek games kick in. That's when I'll think about, because I might have to go into my young boys and see what I've got there to use. But I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. I remember playing years ago at Amateur, and I played, I think it was 17 games in like 22 days. I think Mick was involved in that run, actually. And I think we won them all, but I can remember the end of it, we couldn't walk. I'm just looking forward to it. Yeah. That's why I joined this league, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the kind of fighting before we kind of wrap up the show? What's the hopes with Finnart kind of going forward? Obviously, I would imagine with a lot of West teams like yourselves coming in, it's obviously just to get as high up the leagues as possible. But there must be an incentive when the kind of Scottish Cups open and things like that. There must be a kind of hope that that's a long-term plan for the club.
No, well, it's a good why I'm on this, and good subject to mention, because we're actually in the process right at this moment to try to take off Crown Point.
Right.
So we're actually at a community consultation stage where the community get involved, and we send a questionnaire out and they get back and support us. But it's between us and Clyde actually. So Clyde are trying to get it at the moment with us, but we've got a lot of community backing. So we should find out. I think by August. We should find out by August if we're going to get it, hopefully. But we've got a lot of good backing behind us regarding that, because we need something to call our home to develop going through. We need it to call our home. Behind the scenes, we're doing so much. I'm going through, I don't know, 10 to 15 meetings a week, speaking to everybody, local community groups, councillors, everybody. Then obviously our committee meetings going forward and stuff. Coaches, our girls section. We've got the girls sections flying at the moment.
Yeah.
And we actually need our own facility to keep growing. We're actually outgrew where we're sitting at the moment. So it's a need to get our own home to keep development and get it up to the standard to enter the Scottish. That's my goal, to be honest. So we've set that out. We've got that in all the paperwork that's kind of sitting there to go then start the building, basically, as soon as we get a go ahead to do it. So that's our plan. Because Crown Point's sitting there with an Astro Park, 3-5 side, 2 tennis courts, and it's got a big grass area, a big grass park. And the grass park would be the one we want to develop into our so-called stadium, community hub stadium. And that's one we want to develop into to get into the Scottish, basically.
No, that'd be good.
So that's the plans. It'll be brilliant for the community and brilliant for us, to be honest. So that's our long-term plan.
Brilliant. It's really good to hear that. Best of luck with that, and obviously the rest of the season ahead, Brian. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much indeed.
No, brilliant for having me on.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to everyone who's tuned in. Please follow us on social media for consistent West of Scotland Football League coverage. And as always, follow our YouTube and podcast channels. There is a lot going out in the channel this week. We obviously have our West show and women's show out as well this week. If you're a horse racing fan, then please look out for our Cheltenham preview show, which will drop on Sunday night if you want to pick the winners for next week. All the best, everyone. We'll see you soon. Cheers.